Om Vasudev Sutam Devam Kansa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness, and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 4, verse number 22. Profound insight is being given in Karma Yoga, how to convert your action into yoga. If you don't convert it, then action will continue. Led by your karma, you will come back and incarnate. In the next birth, you create another set of karmas that will give you next birth. The process will never end. Karma doesn't end by karma. Karma doesn't utilize karma, as I have already explained. 3 terms: karma, vikarma, and akarma. Actions that you do in day-to-day life. If you blend with those actions special spiritual attitudes, or blend with those actions special spiritual practices, which I will explain, such as devotion, japa, repetition of mantra, developing divine qualities, and many others which will be easily explained later. When you blend in with your karma, vikarma is a specialized actions that refer to mental attitudes. Then, result is akarma. Your karmas move away from you. Karmas are destroyed. You will not reincarnate. So let me go into it and it will be explained more and more. Yadrikshalabha santushto dvandvatito vimatsara samah siddhava siddhaucha kritvapi na nibadhyate. If one is satisfied with whatever comes to him without his egoistic effort, and is beyond the pairs of opposites, and is also devoid of jealousy, and balanced in success and failure, then even though he performs actions, he is not bound by karma. Gita writings are very condensed writing. The whole scripture is condensed into it. Let's follow. Yadrichalabha santushto. If one is satisfied with whatever comes to him without his egoistic effort. When we talk of ego, everything that you get, there is always ego behind it. And whatever effort you exercise, ego is needed. Remember, your ego is of 3 types: sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Tamasic and rajasic ego. Tamasic ego keeps your mind away from reflection, understanding, from the activity of pure intellect. Intellect tells you certain things you should do. But if you have rajasic, tamasic ego, you simply shut the door at the intellect. Put the intellect in a wonderful area in your room, in your house. Close the door. I'm just making a joke. With rajas tamas predominated mind, Intellect is suffocated. You never give emphasis on understanding. Misunderstanding is easy, not understanding. So as long as you have rajasic, tamasic ego, you are never satisfied with things as they are. You cannot accept them with harmony. Always find, if good things have happened, your mind will say, it should have happened double the amount. Who won a lottery? Everybody is congratulating you, but you sit back and say, I should have had the lottery of the last year. It was double the amount. So you are not in harmony with it. And then negative things happen. Your rajasic, tamasic mind creates terrible imagination. A few sneezing and the rajasic, tamasic mind says it's the flu season. Everything is lost. All that I have done knows. Will I survive this flu? I'm exaggerating to make things easy. So when rajas, tamas dominate your mind, or that you have rajasic and tamasic ego, you are moving away from swadharma. Swadharma is type of action that you can do, and you allow your whole heart to be involved in it. You feel happy about it. Paradharma, deep down you are not, but you need money. So job has to be done. So get into a job and you perform whatever has to be performed according to your job, but with only thing that pleases you the day you receive your money. Until then, you are not happy with your job. Suppose you are a teacher, you love to teach. And whether salary is cut down or promoted more, it doesn't affect you. Because you love to teach. It's a part of your joy. That type of activity is called swadharma. One has to, if your ego becomes sattvic, you begin to move towards swadharma, what is agreeable to you, what puts you in harmony with yourself. But you have Raj, and again another way. If you allow yourself to be involved in actions that are more in harmony with your inner nature, your ego will become sattvic. You are allowing the ego to become humbler, more transparent. So it goes both ways. If you do swadharma, you are allowing yourself to move away from rajasic, tamasic ego. And if you develop sattvic ego, automatically you begin to perform your swadharma in a better way. It goes both ways. Now, with rajasic, tamasic ego, you are never satisfied with your egoistic effort. No matter what you have done, things are never absolutely agreeable to your mind. With sattvic ego, you have another dimension of God within me, This is what I wanted, but didn't happen. But this whole world is planned by God. There is reason behind it. And sometimes a failure of today may become a stepping stone to tremendous success tomorrow. Your failure to get into a plane, and later you find the plane has collapsed somewhere. Plane has been hijacked. You failed getting into the plane at the right time. Your whole day was spoiled. You felt frustrated. But the news came to you, the plane has been kidnapped and it has been destroyed and everybody died and all that. I'm giving a crude illustration to show that simply because things happen, not if they don't happen according to your expectation, don't become frustrated. That's not all the life. It's just a drop in the bucket. Another point, your expectation is not always valid. Many things you are expecting. A child goes on expecting to go on playing with toys. But every day the child is moving away, growing out of the toys. And there comes a time of feeling a tremendous frustration. The toys that the child has been so much attached to. And suddenly the mother snatches those toys and pushes him to school. From the point of the child, it's a terrible situation. What will happen to his yogi bear? But in time, child realizes it's a wonderful thing. The parents sent me to this school and detached me from the toys. In life's movement, that point has to be understood. Things you are free to expect. Pray for it, whatever you want. But you have always another rung within yourself. Move up to that rung and look down. If things didn't happen the way you wanted, don't allow yourself to be upset at all. This is not just the end of time. Time never ends. Even this will pass away. When adversity is viewed with that type of objectivity, that adversity becomes a prosperity in disguise. It gives you more lessons than prosperity would have given. Likewise, if prosperity has come, it's wonderful. If during prosperity you allow sattvic ego to develop, to allow your prosperity to be more charitable, to be more helpful, to be able to practice more of your sadhana meditation, to scale more heights of wisdom, then your prosperity has been real prosperity. But if your prosperity has made you dull, lazy, addicted to shallow pleasures of life, that prosperity has been really a curse. Here your dependence on astrology also is neutralized. This point people don't understand. General idea of astrology is to tell you whether you are going to have painful condition or pleasant condition. Now, if you have handled your pain with love of God, that pain will prove to be an auspicious development. As if we have done many good karmas. Though that experience was due to many bad karmas. Astrological law is neutralized. You reverse it. It's not easy to understand. Human mind is gripped by things will happen because that's the way astrology says. Things will happen because on the basis of your sadhana, the way you move towards God. Whatever things you have done and whatever way the karma is operating, if karma has given you painful situation, you use that pain as an austerity. And that all setup of karma will not be considered sinful karma, whatever it is. That's again, I'm coming to a more allegorical way of explaining. In other words, you are not gripped by what you did in the past. And if due to good karmas of the past, you have become very fortunate, and your fortune has made you very shallow, ostentatious, vain, then all your good karmas have actually become spoiled. But if you are utilizing your good karma in a way that you become more and more endowed with Daivi qualities, divine qualities, allow yourself to prosper in a spiritual way, then you are utilizing your prosperity in a profound. The astrological calculation says this much happiness you will have. But if you are switching to spiritual movement, your happiness will have no bounds. I will not go into further detail. And you find, if you handle your mind with the spirit of yoga that I am explaining, karma yoga, you will not be constantly burdened with the idea, how can I do it? I must do more effort. If I have been rising 4 o'clock, I should rise at 2 o'clock. Rather, there will come a sense of spontaneity, as if things are just blowing like a gentle breeze. In the morning, it's a very gentle breeze. Everything calm and serene. But look profoundly at the buds. They are bursting. They are blossoming. A tremendous dynamic activity is going on all over the forest. Outwardly, as if nothing. That's the allegorical setting of enlightenment. Karma has turned into Vikarma. Lots of karmas are happening, but they don't have an external impact of creating a lot of noise. You don't know the art, you do very little, but you go on shouting it. How much have I? If you are advanced karma yogi, you do a lot. And when somebody says you have been doing so much, you feel shy. I could have done much more. Because the source that inspires you to do is not your ego. God within you. These points, therefore, have to ring within your mind. Yadricha lava santushta. Do not go on condemning every situation you have to face in life. Face it. Handle it all with your practical reality. Leave no stone unturned in handling the practical reality. But while you do that, Do not create in your mind lot of imaginations, sankalpas and vikalpas. What if I succeed and didn't succeed the way I wanted? If I failed, how long will it take? All those are called sankalpas, vikalpas. Mind working on to and fro. This way it should be or this way it should be. And that puts your life into a, takes the beauty of your life and diminishes it. That is stress within your mind. Don't live your life properly, profoundly. So, the idea is, ideally, yadrichalava santosha. No matter how things happen, allow your mind to relax. Relax, surrender to God. You are in the hands of God. But this does not mean you stop your activity. Because inwardly you are satisfied, that means you are putting forth all your energy, all your talent to handle your situation in the best way possible. Not with a sense of diffidence, with a sense it's a matter. God within you is going to help you. You have no other choice. You are a ray, and God is like this light sun. With that santosh, inward feeling of contentment, you don't compare yourself with others. Others are so happy. They are more healthy than me. I am not. That keeps you always in a state of discontent. And it becomes the hobby of the mind, rather it becomes the evil habit of the mind, an obsession of the mind. To be always looking at others and comparing yourself with them and being discontented. Discontent goes on making your mind lose at its energy. Next point, dvandva atita. Dvandva means pairs of opposites. The world, relative world gives you always. There is bright day and there is dark night. Gain and loss. Pleasure and pain. Praise and censure. Things are not always the same. But you learn to look at this day and night, pleasure and pain, gain and loss, in an objective manner, rise beyond. And try to understand you are like the sky. The sky has always to face clouds in their different situations. They may be dark, they may be silvery, they may be dancing, and they may be just sitting like a stone. They may be crackling, thunder, roaring. To the sky, it's all the same. Ever seen the sky scratched by clouds? You are spirit, the soul, more than the sky. That soul cannot be scratched by all your karmas. It remains always. They develop that I am, which is transparent, sattvic. Sattvic ego does not hide the glory of your soul. The moment you have sattvic ego, you begin to understand that you are related to God, a ray of God. But ray of God is just the beginning of the movement. A ray is nothing but the sun. This is known as being beyond the pairs of opposites. And is also devoid of jealousy, which I have already explained while describing contentment. Everybody is always looking at others. And somehow you could have been very happy, but you saw your neighbor wearing a necklace that you have been working for a long time. That spoiled your day. Jealousy. Subtle jealousy goes on operating in the mind. Jealousy is called matsar in Sanskrit. And machar, mosquito, is derived from that same word in Hindi, in Sanskrit. Matsar, machar. Machar means mosquitoes. Just like you go into a park, they're beautiful. But how many mosquitoes start crowding over your head? Then it's not good. The world is like a beautiful park. Everything is divine. The wondrous glory of God is involved in every little thing. But matsars, lots of machars are there. The mind is constantly distracted. What happened yesterday? What's going to happen tomorrow? I'm missing my TV. The news, especially the terrorist news, is coming, breaking every moment. News breaks. All that machars. But if you are moving on a spiritual path in a perfect way, correct way, you are devoid of that matsarya, devoid of, simple translation is jealousy, and balanced in success and failure. If you are acting according to all these points, then even though you are performing karmas, they are not going to give you a karmic result. They won't bind you in future. Even though you are doing lots of karmas, inwardly they are all turned into akarma. They are all neutralized. And that's the greatest art. How to live your life, do your duties. You are led by the karmas of the past. Do not create more karmas that will put you in future, haunt you from life to life. But live your life in such a way that you rise beyond the notion, I am the doer, I am the enjoyer. Rise beyond rajasic, tamasic ego. The moment you rise beyond it and you come into the revelation, I am, that am I. Through sattvic ego, I am. Related to God, I am one with God. Your life is no longer dependent upon how things will happen. You're no longer looking for a world process. You are blended with God. And in the world outside, you are busy. You will be doing lots of karmas. You will be doing karmas two ways. You will appear to be really active, and yet inwardly absolutely calm. Or you will appear to be extremely quiet, like a painted picture, like a Buddha in silence. Externally, millions are being inspired by it. The double role of your personality. Two dimensions. They seem conflicting. Should I be just silent, not do anything? Or should I be just doing and not lose my time in sitting lazy? But the reality of your life demands a blend of both. Do your work. inwardly feeling happy, relaxed. The type of work you are doing, if you are well, you have understood it well, your attitude is right. If you have done sadhana in a proper way, doing the work inwardly, you are not allowing the load to get on your head. All the load goes in the head, on the head of God. You are simply doing it. The bird begins to twitter, sing. Doesn't look around how many people are listening. A flower just blossoms without considering where will the fragrance go. Fragrance goes all over. The idea is to understand inward quietness and outward involvement in gracious activity is same as the sun and the sunshine. Sun inwardly is just there, all light. Outwardly, while the sun is enjoying its independence, everything on the earth is sustained by the rays of the sun. Even a little grass exists because of the rays of the sun, solar energy. All that work is being done by the sun. And ask the sun, what are you doing? Doesn't know anything. Doesn't even know that there is an earth somewhere. All these are physical illustrations. So to understand the same inwardly, as you allow your ego to become sattvic, which means internally you become relaxed. Your mind does not face a whole cloud of conflict. It enjoys a kind of peace that you would have enjoyed in deep sleep. Things move away. Your mind is relaxed. You are doing your duty well. And that's all to it. And we are doing it with the spirit of worshipping God. And your expectation is not for outer results. How long will I, how much money will I have, how long will it last, etc. But your expectation is simply to have increasing purity of heart, thereby increasing closeness with God, until ego is nothing. You are just a flute in divine hands. See, all that comes into just one verse. Kritvapi na nibadhyate. Though doing all types of actions, he is not bound by karma. Gata sangasya muktasya jnana vastita chetasa yajnaya charata karma samagram praviliyate. For one who is liberated, whose mind is firmly established in wisdom, who is absolutely detached from the fruits of karma, and who acts in the spirit of sacrifice. Sacrifice here refers to yajna. General idea of sacrifice means something you are doing that is damaging you. Chop off your neck or chop off your finger by sacrifice. It's a very crude way I'm trying to explain. But yajna term describes sacrifice. It simply means you sacrifice your anger. Anger is, using the ritualistic example, they sacrificed animal and they put it into the fire. And they smelt with great joy. But here you are doing a yajna, you are sacrificing your anger, and out of that sacrifice, love emanates fragrance. And we are being enriched by it. And we are living a life of sacrifice. Sacrificing the lower self. Sacrificing the forces of darkness. Sacrificing all the vices. Sacrificing all the misunderstandings. Allowing them to become sublimated. That's called yajna. And simple expression of yajna is paropakar. Live for the sake of helping others. Be good, do good. Never develop the idea, let me live for myself. All this world, what have I to do with it? Let them go to hell. If you lack the spirit of sacrifice in your life, you become extremely miserable. A river that says, oh, why to flow on? Let me just stay still. Within a day, the river will become full of worms. Stagnation is hell. Sacrifice makes your life flow. That's what we mean by sacrifice. Each time you hear the word sacrifice, you need to understand in the proper context. Who acts in the spirit of sacrifice, all his karmas dissolve along with their fruits. What does that imply? Your constant focus on your projects and holding on to impressions of karmas in your unconscious, that automatically goes on happening. But if you have come to a higher level of living with the spirit of yoga, you are not maintaining the idea that I am doing all this work. Rather, you are constantly surrendered to the revelation God is doing all this. Thereby all karmas are dissolving because it is not being attributed to your ego. Nothing, me and mine are moving away. That's what people say, namaste, namah. Nothing is me, nothing is mine. Stripped of me and mine, all divine. So your detachment is coming towards the action that you do. People are so attached. The way I do it, nobody does that. Subtle ego goes on developing. And the fruit of karma, the very involvement in karma and what the karma will bring, your attachment goes in two directions. If you are advancing in a spiritual way, your attachment goes towards God and you move away from this. God takes care of both. Attachment is called asakti. And there are different forms of asakti, and let me name them. Phalasakti. You do a project and your mind is constantly waiting to enjoy your victory, your success. All through your performance, you are just tense. Phal. All the time the tree is growing, you are in just don't like it. Fruit comes, that's where you like it. That's the phalasakti. Dehasakti. Constant attachment to physical body. I am the body. No matter how body may impact on your mind, and it is a terrible reality. Nevertheless, if you are deeply involved in spirituality, your mind is to constantly work upon a deeper truth. I am not the body. Even before the body existed, I was in another body. But that's the description of bondage. In reality, the I am is the divine self. Real I am. So I am not the body. This I am not the body must develop more and more. That's what we mean by moving away from Deha Sakti. If you want to go further, Deha refers to three bodies: physical body, subtle body. Subtle body is mind, senses, and intellect. And then there is a causal body that relates to your unconscious, filled with impressions. In Sanskrit, they are known as sthul, gross physical body; sukshma, subtle body; karana, causal body. And there is terrible attachment to these three bodies. Most people recognize, rather, it's easy to understand the physical body and the way one is attached. If you make your mind more thoughtful, you realize you are also attached to your mental body. The way your mind wants to think, imagine, it has all fabric. It has all building, as it were. And you are attached to it. If you go further, you are attached to an unconscious that you have created by lots of impressions. And you are attached to it. Deep down, when you go to sleep, you go away from most of these bodies. You stay with unconscious. But you go away from your body, mind, intellect, ego. This gives you an idea how much can you go away from these. In yoga, as you attain samadhi, you go away even from your causal body. That possibility exists for everyone. Until then, enjoy sleep. Which also is a positive thing. Good sleep, profound sleep. Duties well done will give you good quality sleep. Duties not well done, your quality sleep will depend upon the medicine you take. So, I'm describing asakti, attachment. Another asakti, kutumba asakti. In every family, all family members develop a kind of attachment. That attachment could be positive, but mostly for general masses, attachment is just attachment. If you suddenly see two boys or two children fighting, and one of the two is your son, or your interest is to see that your son doesn't get any hurt. And the result comes to you. The one of them has been beaten so hard the nose is bleeding. You are in suspense. You see your son not bleeding. Oh, what a wonderful. And we again look back to see for sure that your son, the other son. What happens to human heart? Those two boys are just the same. The suffering, no matter which one suffered, suffering has to be recognized. But you have Swajana Sakti, you will recognize people who are related to you. Their problem is highlighted in your mind. And sometimes you solve their problem even though you are not fit to solve. And thereby you damage their success. The type of attachment, deluded attachment. And that's not love. Deluded attachment is love with big smoke. From out of this attachment, as you emerge, you realize how to love person, not just be attached. And in that process, your love becomes more profound. Like smoke moves away and the fire emerges. If that type of love is there in the family, it's wonderful. Let it be smoke, as long as it's going to move away. But if it is going to be just smoke, that is a miserable state. Everybody is going to be choked ultimately. All karmas dissolve. So about asakti, kudumba asakti, vastra asakti. You are attached to wear the garments. Alankara asakti, attached to various ornaments you wear. And there are all types of attachments. But for a yogi, you move away from that love, that deluded love that makes you lean upon objects or persons. You develop a profounder love. Such a person acts in the spirit of sacrifice. All his karmas dissolve, which means though he may perform all karmas, inwardly he is not going to be dragged from one life to another. And with this I'm going to conclude. Om Shanti Shanti.